Well, good evening. So, I have some exciting news to give you guys tonight. Um, I just kind of want to start giving an update on the weight loss process and how it's going, because there's going to be good days or weeks and there's going to be bad weeks. But since I've been whole food plant based for the past month, um, I have lost 10 pounds. So 271 down to 261. And I'm just thrilled with that. My knees feel better. My back doesn't ache as much. Um, I feel a little bit lighter. Not because of necessarily the weight loss, but just because of the way I've been eating. I just feel better. So just to go kind of to show that, yeah, eating a bunch of carbs and low on the fat, you really can lose weight. You can eat healthy and you can have fun with it. And that's where we're going tonight with this video. There is a recipe that I had found, I don't know, I think a year and a half ago. And I'll post the recipe, the website where I got it from, so that you guys can go give them love if you want to try it out. It's called AtMyTable. So this recipe is for baked vegan rice balls. The last time that I did this, I absolutely love them. And since it's been a while since I've had them, I wanted to do a run through tonight with them. Make them again, make sure that I really like the seasoning. You can change up the seasoning however you want to for different things. Like, I think you could do rice balls as, with maybe taco seasoning. Do a little bit of Mexican style. We've got a party that we're going to be going to at the end of the month. And they're not whole food plant based, which is just fine. It's not their problem that I've gone this way. And I thought it might be fun to make these and bring them with us. And again, I hadn't had them in a while. I didn't want to make them the night before and then be like, no, I don't think so. I want to be able to go to the party, bring them, and know that I put my best work into it. So hopefully they can enjoy them too. They're going to have their steaks or whatever other meats that they want to barbecue up, and I can bring this as a side dish for them and a main for me, and we can all have fun and sit down and just enjoy the evening together. End of summer, just a nice time to be able to sit out and be with family. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And I want to be able to bring something so that they don't feel like they have to cater to me, because it's not about me. It's about all of us being together and just having family time. And this is one recipe that you don't have to explain, well, it's got tofu in it, or it's got that in it, or it's got this in it. It's just rice balls. Very tasty ones, in fact. So AtMyTable put this together, and I love it. And so I wanted to share it with you. So the first thing we're going to do is, I've already cut up my onion. We got my rice made. And we're going to start putting this together. So you take up half an onion and about a quarter cup of parsley. I'm not the biggest parsley fan in the world, but I did the full quarter cup. I want to stay as true to the recipe as possible. And then we've got a tablespoon of Italian seasoning into our bowl. And then, what was it? Quarter cup of lemon juice. Get that in there. Okay. About a teaspoon of garlic powder. That's one of the changes I made. I didn't have garlic cloves. It called for 3 garlic cloves. 3 garlic cloves is about 3/4 teaspoon. So I just went with a whole teaspoon. And then, goodness, I am losing my brain tonight. It's all good. I'm going to actually start with this, and we're going to blend it up a little bit. It wants it to be kind of chunky still. I found the last time that I did this that when I put all the half of the rice in first with the blending, it just made it really pasty. She said it's not supposed to be pasty. It's supposed to be a little bit chunky still. But blending the rice is going to also make it into enough of a paste that you can have it all glued together. All right. There we go. So first, We're just going to take care of some of the big stuff in here so that I don't have to over blend the rice. And then we put in 1 cup of rice. It's 2 cups all total. First cup in, put that down so we can actually, there we go. Okay. Then we just want to blend this up enough to start making that paste. And this is probably why she recommended a food processor. Should have got that out. I've got things flying all over the place right now. Okay. That should be good. Then we've got another cup of rice. The second change that I did make was that I used cornstarch just as a little bit of a binder instead of tapioca. She calls for tapioca in the recipe. Didn't have any. Knew I had a cornstarch, and it's the same equivalent if you look it up online. So teaspoon of that, and then half a cup of flour. Okay. The one more thing that I am going to do is we're going to put some salt in because it just makes everything taste better. And I know some people are trying to avoid the salt. She doesn't actually have the salt in this recipe. So I did about a tablespoon of salt. A teaspoon of salt, not a tablespoon. So those are the 3 changes that I've made. Okay? We go ahead, get a handy dandy spoon here. Get it all nice and mixed up. Now, I don't know if you have an air fryer or not. Her recipe has both. You can either cook it in the oven or you can put it in an air fryer. I have an air fryer, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Bake it in the oven, cook it in the oven. Yeah, no. All right. And once you get it mixed up, if you want to taste it at this point, you're more than welcome to do so. Maybe you want some more Italian seasoning. Maybe you want some more garlic. I don't know. That's up to you, your call. And that actually did really, really nicely. So if you can see that in there, that's the mixture so far. So the rice that she called for was jasmine. I actually used Botan. Botan is a short white rice. I absolutely love white rice. I love the texture of it. I do have some short grain brown rice too, and I do want to try this recipe with brown rice at some point in time. When you go whole food plant-based, and just for health in general, because Americans don't get enough fiber, you want to try to up your fiber game as much as possible. Fiber traps the bad debris that's in our intestines, and it gets it out of our body. They have found Dr. Bolsowicz, if you ever listen to him, he's a gastrointestinal doctor. He says that if you eat more fiber, it actually makes things move in the right direction, so you get less heartburn. And since I've gone whole food plant-based, I haven't had to worry about heartburn. It's been awesome. It just helps so much trying to get to sleep at night. You don't have the heartburn. You don't have the tossing and the turning that goes with it. You don't have to take the medicine for it. Makes a really, really, really big difference. So with brown rice, there's about 3.5 grams of fiber per cup. Now that's probably why I should have used brown rice, is because it ups your fiber game. I didn't. So don't judge me. Sometimes you just have to meet people where they are. Maybe they don't like brown rice. I don't know at this party that we're going to if the people there will like brown rice or not. So it's my justification for using white. Yes, that's what it is. So we're going to go ahead and just start to form these into little balls. Not too big. I'm trying to do maybe 1.5 inches by 1 inch across, something like that. Just big enough that these little guys are going to be a nice mouthful and a half to eat. Unless you're like me and you just shove them in. You know, sometimes that's what you do. So these are supposed to cook on 400 for about 10 to 15 minutes. And it says until they're golden brown. I can't guarantee, and we're going to find out, if these are going to get to a golden brown because I did not put any oil in there. As you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to make your body healthier, oil adds a lot of pressure to the system. It's a great carrier for flavor, and that's why so many people want to be able to use it. But it hurts your cardiovascular system. It can affect blood pressure. It, as we've talked a little bit before, when you eat fat, your body takes care of that first. Then it actually goes ahead and takes care of the insulin, the glucose, by sending out the insulin. The fat in your cells block the insulin from being able to get in. And that creates insulin, a low sensitivity to insulin. You don't want to have a low sensitivity. You want to have a high sensitivity. So the more fat you get out of your cells, the better your insulin works, the better your body functions, and everything is much, much happier. I don't think we were ever really supposed to sit and have a big old massive steak or a bunch of meat every single night of the year. I do think that God gave us the ability to eat meat because he knew that there would be hard, lean times. Sometimes being able to go out, kill a deer, or find that fish in the creek gave people the ability to survive. Most of the time, they were eating whole food plant-based because it's easier to store grains and beans and go outside and pick berries off the vine, especially, in the warmer climates where you have food growing most of the year round. I always get a kick out of it when I watch Naked and Afraid. They go out and they've got their bows and arrows and they're trying to go hunt the meat. And a lot of times they catch it, but then so many times the next day it'll rain, and because they don't have the proper storage facilities to keep the meat dry, the meat goes bad so fast. Dr. McDougall would say that meat at one point in time in history was simply meant for feasting. They would go out, get the big kill, eat it basically as fast as they could, maybe make some jerky out of it, but jerky gets wet, it loses, it goes moldy. And the rest of the time it was, how can we get food? And the food was rice, beans, potatoes, wild vegetables. And then they started to farm the vegetables. That made it a little bit easier for them. So I've got a little bit of this left, but I'm going to go ahead and put what I've got. I'm going to go ahead and put what I've gotten here into the air fryer. Okay. My husband is the kitchen gadget guy. I absolutely adore him for it. This is our Emeril Lagasse air fryer. I do have an affiliate link now. If you want to take a look at it on Amazon, you can feel free to do that. It's a really nice one. It actually, not that I'm trying to do a commercial, but in case you're curious, it has a divider you can put in. You can have food on both sides. We don't need that today. So those are the rice balls before they get cooked. So let's get them in there and see how they look coming out the other side. I know that they'll get a little bit more brown, but I don't know if they're going to get that golden brown. So 400, 10 to 15 minutes at 400. All right. And there we go. We've got those cooking. Now I do have a sauce that we'll be making up in a little bit before the, hopefully as those are getting done, the sauce will be done for dipping. And I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, while we wait for the rice balls to get done, let's put together our dipping sauce. Now, you guys are going to need to go in the comments and let me know what you think about the dipping sauce. I have never shared this with anybody. It's one that I'm a little bit obsessed with, and I'll even put it over noodles for like a mac and cheese. So what it is about a half a cup of hummus. This is the Sabra classic hummus. That's all it is. So I've already got it in my bowl. And then about a third of a cup of nutritional yeast. And to give it, oh, that's a lot of nutritional yeast, more than I probably usually use. But anyway, we're going to run with it. And then rice vinegar gives it a little bit of a kick. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. It also makes a little bit more of a dipping sauce. So it's about a tablespoon of the rice vinegar and probably a tablespoon and a half of water. You can put more of any of this in as you choose. This is kind of what I normally do. And then about a teaspoon of salt. I probably will end up putting in more water because I want this to be liquidy. What the nutritional yeast, it soaks up water so fast. And so you usually need a little bit more than you're thinking. Taste it as you go. This is just something that I really enjoy, and I can't tell you why. And like I said, not the best cook in the world, so this is still a little bit of a refinement process. So see, that's a lot thicker than I want it to be. Gonna go ahead and throw in probably another tablespoon of water. And honestly, if you need more water to make it nice and loose and available for dipping, do it. This is ingredients when I'm get home and I'm tired and I don't feel like doing anything else. I'll throw it together and call it good. Okay. Let's see. Even that at this point. Now, if you put this over rice or noodles, that might be okay. I do find that the noodles will soak up any liquid very, very quickly. So, because of the amount that I did use of the hummus, I'm going to use a little bit more water. Another tablespoon. That's probably going to put me in my happy spot, especially being able to use it as a dipping sauce for the rice balls. A little bit cheesy, I guess you could say, and tangy. And that I've even put in Cholula sauce and made it a bit of a buffalo sauce or Frank's Red Hot. Turn it into a buffalo sauce. Very, very good, in my opinion. Like I said, I've never shown this to anybody before, so yeah, have some fun. Try it out. Tell me what you would do differently, because I make it a little bit differently every single time. I'm going to get a spoon. We'll taste it. All right. Let's see if it's where I want it. Yes. Yep. That'll do. Actually, I am going to put in a little bit more of the vinegar. So that was probably a tablespoon and a half of vinegar, because I do like that vinegar kick. With rice vinegar, it's very mild compared to like apple cider vinegar. So you're able to put more in and get the tang without vinegar taste. And all right, so if you take a look at that, it's nice and soupy. And like I said, as a comfort food on a cold winter's day, you get home from work and you just don't feel like working very hard. This goes together really fast for me because I do it different every time. And I can put it over noodles and have mac and cheese. There it is. That's exactly it. I just get a kick out of it. They're done. 3, 2, 1, and that's called timing. Go ahead and hit cancel on that. If you want them to be darker, a little bit more brown, a little bit more golden, you can throw them back in. Let's take a look at where they are right now. So yeah, it is getting some color on there, which is wonderful. And it's definitely crisping up on the outside. If you think it needs more cook time, don't be afraid. There's my spoon. Take that back. Okay. The fun thing about these rice balls too is the way the recipe rolls. They get a little bit bready on the inside. I just love it. Okay. I actually like that right there because it's nice and firm on the outside. It's getting that breadiness on the inside. Yeah. Let's do this. Experiment. Let's put it in for, say, 3.5 more minutes and see what that does for the color. And then we'll get back together and see how it goes. So, okay. All right, we've got it on for 3 more minutes, and then hopefully we'll be able to try them out, see how they taste. Right now they are tasting really good, but I think the inside is still, I guess you could call it doughy. The last time I made them, they did get to a more of a bready consistency. I think the flour obviously helps with that too. So I'll see you in a couple minutes. Okay, we're almost done in the air fryer. So if you guys like the content, hit like, subscribe, comments in the bottom, especially if you try the sauce, the dipping sauce, please let me know. I really enjoy it, but not everybody always enjoys what I do. All right, here we are. Okay. So even 3 minutes later, they didn't get much more brown, but they are starting to get browner. And I actually think that they look really good where they are right there. The last time I made these, like I said, because you don't use the oil, you could spray them with Pam if you wanted to, just a quick spritz. That'll help get some of that brownness in there too. But what I'm looking for more is to know that they're cooked and that the texture, that crispiness on the outside and bready goodness on the inside of the rice balls. So take this guy right there. Let's cut it in half, see what it looks like on the inside. Whew, they are hot. And again, silverware is always good. Okay, I think you can see a little bit better on this. That breadiness that's in there, that's more of what I'm looking for. They were still just a little bit doughy. And now, not so much. Stir up our dipping sauce. Let's try this without the dipping sauce. I am glad I put some salt in there. It definitely enhances the flavor a little bit. I can definitely taste the lemon. I would probably put a little bit less parsley. That's just because I'm not the biggest parsley fan in the world. Probably put a little bit extra of the Italian seasoning, which I know does have some of the dry parsley in there. But the fresh really pops in these. And then go ahead and I'm the only one that's going to eat it, so I get to double dip. Okay. Yeah, that's really good to me. So please comment, try it out. Let me know what you think. I would absolutely love to hear from you. You could have this with a side of vegetables. I made some cauliflower tonight, so I could have cauliflower, drizzle some of the sauce over both. And it's making me cough. And in the meantime, for veggie's sake, eat for your health. Do what's best for you and have fun while you're doing it. God bless.